The Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Leak season is unlike anything we've seen before. I mean, look at this. In a single thread of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet leaks, we've had more information given than entire Pokemon games have leaked before their release. And this is just part 1 of 18. So we have an insane amount of information, and like, as it gets broken down more and more, there's updates, we pretty much know most of the Paldea Pokedex and all the new Pokemon that are coming out, but when you look at this, there's a problem. It's almost all fake, or it's all vague information, and it's effectively worthless. So that's my realization, that we have more information than ever. It feels like the game is effectively out. You look at these threads, you look at the information, and it's like, yeah, this seems like something that would happen on 4chan, like what we saw with Pokemon Sun and Moon, where someone got an early copy of the game and just told us the entire story, or when the game eventually gets data mined before release, and then you just know everything about it. But with this, it's like that, except being perpetuated or relayed through complete frauds, like Centro Pokemon, one of the biggest scumbags out there. And another problem with the information is a lot of it has fraud Ku's information as well. Ku is a deeply, deeply troubled and mentally ill individual who is not trustworthy in the slightest, yet this is what's creating viral threads of thousands and tens of thousands of likes and hundreds of thousands of views. And I don't understand, like, how anyone can be excited for it, because when you look at it, it's nothing. It's fan art. It's fakemon. It's not real information. And very little of this is reliable information, so most of it isn't going to happen, but people are treating it like we have information about Generation 9. So even though we have more leaks than ever, and, like, more pre-game information than ever, it just doesn't have any value. Like, I don't want leaks anymore. I just want real Pokemon news. Kind of used to be the other way around. That, like, okay, we're getting a lot of Pokemon news for Pokemon Sun and Moon. And that was great. That was incredible. No complaints. We didn't even need any extra leaked information to add to the insanity of Pokemon Sun and Moon news. But then when a leak came out, it would supplement it just a little. What do you mean we're getting a dolphin Pokemon? What do you mean a rugby monkey or a werewolf Pokemon? Wait. That came true. Wait, those are looking like the leaked starter final evolutions. Like, it was real. There was actual information that you could read, you could see, and then watch it develop and kind of augment and make everything better for Pokemon Sun and Moon's release. But with this, we don't have any of that. It's just a wall of nonsense. And even, like, the most credible leaker, or the only credible leaker, Kaka, he went from, like, having information to then kind of burning everything out. And because the accounts are private or get deleted, person phases in and out of existence and then, like, comes back with a riddle, effectively, it just takes all the hype away from that. So, I mean, like, look at this. We have a recap. Pretty much useless information. He said that the flower Pokemon had a new ability in binary, but then stated he wasn't sure. I only remember the ability effect. Team Start Order, Fire, Dark, Poison, Fairy, Fighting. I have no clue section. Fairy boss is blank. Poison boss respects blank. Yep, that's what he said, and now he's gone to sleep. So, like, knows the ability effect, doesn't say the effect, is now doing things Riddler style, which is just not good. And, like, people are like, but he needs to do the riddle so he doesn't get sued. A riddle is not going to hold up as a legal defense, especially against the Nintendo Ninja lawyers. The next level of Nintendo ninjas, and that's why Ku has no credibility whatsoever, because sure, a couple of things maybe hit now and then, but it's around 90% nonsensical, vague information that is just even more clouded because he's deeply unwell. Like, just say, if you have the information, say it. But because the Pokemon community has also become deeply toxic and ill, everyone just wants to live in their fake fairy tale, and Centro Pokemon has gotten a lot of popularity off of just peddling nonsense, and then they're using that to rewrite the narrative or just have awful takes. Whenever they have, like, a thought or an opinion piece, it's one of the worst things you've ever seen. Hate it or love it, leak culture has always been and will always be a part of Pokemon. This seems to be like some kind of defensive response to people that are upset at Centro for leaking. People aren't upset at Centro for just, like, spreading leaks. They're upset at Centro for all the nonsensical information spam that doesn't have any value. Yeah, it's always been a part of Pokemon. No one can argue that, and it always will, which is what the trend is showing us, that, yeah, we just keep on getting Pokemon leaks and they kind of get crazier in their own way. We grew up with leaks being the only real source of Pokemon news. That's just a outright lie. No, we had plenty of real information, even going back to like Generation 5. Now, this is also where it gets weird because Coro leaks. That's an official publication that has the information, and the scans, well, if they were leaking and the Pokemon Company didn't want that, they just would not be allowed to have that information anymore. So it wasn't as much a leak as it was like early information distribution through like an interesting kind of outlet. But sure, let's call them leaks. They still weren't the only source of Pokemon news. We still got official trailers, we still got official like publishings of the news, especially after 2013 Generation 6, when everything became international and simultaneous release. And because Centro and Joe Merrick beef, because Joe Merrick just doesn't like, again, peddling of nonsense information, then they're trying to like spin Cerebi against it. But again, this is like the semi-official leaks from Coro, and they still weren't the only thing we had for Pokemon X and Y. We all got used to the word leak meaning news. No, that's just another lie. So it's also kind of weird how we have these like scumbags just kind of pushing out non-stop fake or leak information, just being habitual liars. Also people like A-Drive, they're just doing that on the YouTube side of things, and then Centro doing it on the Twitter side of things. And we can prove this because one of Joe Merrick's most popular tweets is leak, a confirmed bit of information that was released early. So actually, if you think about it like that, yeah, like we have Coro. They have trustworthy sources. It's confirmed information. They've never leaked something that didn't end up happening because that's a part of their publication with the official information. So it's real information released early. If we distill it down to that as a simple leak, yeah, there's a lot of that, but it's also still not the only information we get access. Rumor, something with questionable authenticity. And then that was the thing, like after Joe Merrick made this and started getting a lot of kind of push, then the scumbags and fraudsters started calling them rumors. Even though they weren't, it was just fake, something not true. Questionable authenticity, yeah, if it's just from 4chan and has nothing confirmed or authentic about it, it's fake until proven rumor or leak. But people were just calling them all leaks and rumors. So people lying about information doesn't change language. And it's not what people got used to. It's just what frauds keep on pushing, and then idiots and NPCs in the Pokemon community just kind of have to live with now because there's no avoiding it. This goes back to like 2016 with Tyranitartube, who is one of the most egregious examples of it. He grew his channel off of lies and completely fraudulent behavior, and then admitted to it. How that isn't career-ending just kind of shows the toxicity of the Pokemon community, and just how everyone's a scumbag in this because they're just trying to make everything up. They're not telling the truth and being honest about it, because that doesn't generate views and ad revenue. As this was our only source of information, lies. This is why a big part of the community is so desensitized to them. No. And like, again, this seems defensive, like, well, a big part of the community is desensitized to leaks, therefore it's okay to lie. No, that's not how it works, Centro. And the people who react negatively are mostly those who didn't follow the coverage for older games. No, the people reacting negatively are almost exclusively people that followed coverage for older games because it was actually authentic. It wasn't as fraudulent as it is now, and then people getting upset are the ones that are upset that this is what we have to deal with, and it's coming from all kinds of different sources. It's not being explained properly. Centro and Ku are in like a pissing match. They don't want to credit each other, and then that just makes the information more obscure. And the Pokemon riddles are just complete fabrications anyway, and for some reason, like other sites that are also trying to use this to get attention and get some clout off of, it's like it's just taking fake stuff and trying to give it some kind of plausibility that it never really had. The reason why people that followed older coverage are upset about this is because it used to be legit. It used to be, alright, we got Coro, and the only things that would, well, actually not the only things, because again, Tyranitar being a scumbag, but a lot of the ones where it's like, oh, this is real, because we could see it unfold. We could watch it become a real leak and then get treated seriously, instead of, again, just kind of taking all the nonsense and trying to use that. So I'm just sitting here like, man, we have something as crazy as the Kaka leaks. This guy had game footage and has been reliable for real information, but it's being lost in the sea of fake information, and everything's just kind of like so pushed, so attention grabbing to the next, so desperate that I don't care about the leaks anymore. And it's gonna suck because we have like over a month-ish of this, depending on like when the first early copy comes out, and then the data mine, and then all the real stuff comes out. But like until then, it's like, man, this just sucks. And that's kind of it. Like I didn't think we'd get to the point where we'd have so much leaked information. It's like, nah, just stop. Like, because back then it was easier to kind of sift through, or at least there was a bit more responsibility about fake stuff, but it's more sad and desperate than ever now, and since we didn't stop it in the last couple of generations, we've kind of hit the peak, and it's complete nonsense. That's what happens when people like Joe Merrick try to bully honest people like me out of the community. Joe Merrick agrees with me about Pokemon legality. Joe Merrick agrees with me in how this is the worst timeline for Pokemon information because the Pokemon community has become so shitty with this, but then he attacks me more than anyone. He calls me a clickbaiter when I've never promoted false information like other people. And I've been saying this for years now and over a generation. Like, I think even with Pokemon Let's Go, I'm like, congratulations, Joe, and the Pokemon community. You reap what you sow. But much like everything in social media and people just becoming completely deranged and refusing to accept reality, like, it's just blown up more than ever now. People just live in this false, fake reality, and they keep on pushing it, and then that's effectively what the culture becomes. And now it's just awful. You know, people, they get popularity, they come up, because, like, if you have fake information, it's going to beat out real information every time, especially as a leak. People are going to click on the chance that this is real and it's going to happen, and then NPCs and idiots are going to kind of go into that peer pressure, mass formation, the culture is kind of builds around it, and then we get the bad actors. People like A-Drive, the people that cover fake leaks non-stop. They are the bad actors, and they've used that to create the sentiment around Pokemon news and then rewrite the narrative with their newfound popularity. It's absurd. It's insane. It's disgusting. That's where we are, and hopefully we get some real Pokemon news soon, but then it's just going to get, like, blown out by all this nonsense, and yeah, it's pretty much, like, just going to suck now. It's the reverse. Instead of, oh wait, we're getting, like, real leaks, or we're getting more trailers and stuff, and the game's about ready to come out, I can't wait. Now it's just like, ugh, this is going to be the worst thing until the game comes out and finally puts all this to bed, and then no one's going to learn anything no matter how much fake information they believed in. Shame. If you guys enjoyed the video, kind of hard to. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.